Hey y'all, let's assemble this beaded badge reel with a beaded charm for this adorable Valentine slot that I made. I like to use painter's tape to secure my cord down while I'm beading them. And I just pull the cord out, place the tape, but I also rub the tape along the edges of the cord just to make sure it's nice and secure. And then you're going to just cut the cord off from that smaller plastic piece. And I use an old weeding tool that I have, but you need something kind of long and pointy that will fit in those holes, and you're trying to just push out the knotted cord that was left in there. And then I go ahead and bead my cord, and I typically use just two 20 mm beads. Occasionally I'll use a spacer bead as well. And then you'll want to just briefly sweep a lighter flame over the cord just to help keep it nice and secure while you're trying to feed it back through that little plastic piece. And then I like to double knot mine, and I just slide that second knot as close as possible to the first one, really give it a nice good tug before I pull it completely through. And then sometimes I'll use a lighter just to kind of seal my cord before pulling it all the way through. And then here I like to hold on to my cord as I'm removing the tape, and I gently glide the cord back up into the reel. I don't allow it to just quickly whip back up into there. That way I don't cause any type of internal damage inside the reel. And then I give the tops of my reel a scuff sand. Now I do prep my badge reels with Grand Finale there at the top on the center. So once it's fully dry, I give it a scuff sand. I also scuff the back of my acrylics before using any dual lock on them. That just gives me a better surface for my dual lock to bond to. And then you want to clean your sanding dust off on both pieces, and then you'll apply your dual lock. Now when I do the dual lock, I have my pieces already pre-cut, and before locking them together I just pay attention to the patterns, and I want them opposite. So whichever one the waves are going up on, I want the other to be going down. And then I'll place the dual lock on my badge reel first. This will allow me to better align my acrylic. I also make sure not to put any pressure on the very backing of my badge reel so that I don't cause any type of internal damage that way as well. And when you are trying to center your acrylic, just gently allow it to lay on the dual lock, see where it's at. If you don't like it, then you can still pull it off. But if you start to press on it, then you will not be able to easily pull it off. So first just let it gently lay flat on there. Get it positioned the way you want it. Make sure it's nice and centered before you start to apply any pressure to it. Again, don't put any pressure on the very backing of your reel. Once that's done, it's good to go, and then we can make our charm. Now for my charms, I'm using 2-inch head pins that I found at Hobby Lobby in the jewelry section, and you need some seed beads, which are those little tiny glass beads. And I don't know the size of the seed beads. These are some that I've had from like years ago, but basically you want them wide enough or big enough to prevent your bigger beads from being able to slip through the head pin, because the holes on the beads are kind of large on those and they can sometimes slip through the head pin. I'm using a 1.5 mm looper tool that I found at Hobby Lobby as well. And this will just basically, it's a tool that will cut your head pin wire but create a loop at the same time. Now I do struggle with this sometimes still, so I'm still getting used to that. I slowed the video down here so you could see that it didn't quite pinch, shut. So I'm using just some small pliers and closing that loop myself. But that's all you need. And then I just use those little lobster clasps so that my customers can remove their charm if they want to and switch them on their badge reels. And here I'm using some little heart cabochons, if I'm saying that correctly, from Amazon that I had ordered. And I am going to just super glue them on. This is like a little sandpaper attachment that I had gotten with a drill set that I have. But basically I like to scuff sand the metal piece, and you want to make sure you're doing the correct side. So where your part unsnaps, you don't want to glue that piece on that side of the snap, because that's the part that the customer's ID tag is going to need to go through it. So you need to make sure that you're gluing these down on the correct side, which needs to be the front side. My daughter totally messed up the super glue lid on my my bottle here, so I had to go and cut the tip off just so I could get some glue out. But basically you're just going to put some super glue there in the middle and gently or slowly try to get some on the very top of the metal piece, but you want to be careful not to get it on the clear plastic part so that it doesn't dry looking horrible. Be careful with this also. Do not get this on your fingers. This super glue is extremely strong, can easily be very messy and get all over you. So just be very careful when you're placing these on. And then when you're going to put your charm on, again, you want it on the front side. So you're going to clip it on that front part so that when they apply when they attach their ID tag, the charm will be on the front and not the back. All right, thanks for watching.